Well, hey, friends. Welcome to the podcast. It's just me today, and today's podcast topic is a good one. I think they're always a good one, but this one is a good one. And will I get through it without crying? Who knows? Who knows? Welcome to the Happy Agent Podcast, the place where real estate agents get real. I'm Courtney Benson, a Wall Street Journal ranked top 1% agent based in Dallas, Texas. After over a decade in this business, I realized something. This industry is full of gaslighting nonsense. The hustle culture, the polished perfection, the pressure to pretend. Yeah, we're done with that. This podcast is where we start doing things differently. We're bringing back the fun, the alignment, the real connection. With a grounded mindset, a lot of laughs, and total authenticity, we're showing up as ourselves to attract the clients, the opportunities, and the life we actually want. No, it's not always perfect, but we're here, we're building something better, and we're doing it together. You may have seen me on Inman News or catch me live on the NAR stage this September. But right now, let's get into today's episode. Today's topic comes out of a weekly email series that I send out to everybody on Sunday, and you may have been the recipient of one of these emails. I send it to anybody who's in my sphere, whether it's clients, agents, just people that I want to connect with. And the whole premise of these Sunday emails are it's not real estate advice, it's just life. They go out every Sunday around 7 p.m. and they're just stories. They're stories of my life, things that I've learned, things about me. And what has been so great about these emails is it's given the reader an opportunity to share back with me. And when I tell you the emails that I get from the people who respond are incredible. I shared a story once about how Gabe and I lived on a $60 a week food budget. We had 2 babies under the age of 5. We had lost everything. My car had been repoed, and we just didn't have any money. And a client of mine reached out and said, here's something that you don't know about me. I used to be on food stamps. Now, this is a client, she's very successful, and she's had a beautiful life, and I didn't know this about her. And she thanked me for the opportunity that I gave her to share. One of the questions that I had 2 emails this week came to me because the email was about me losing 130 pounds and how I thought if I lost 130 pounds, like all of my problems would go away. Like if I could just be skinny and rich and pretty and like I would have no problems. And I was sharing the story about my weight loss. And so I was asked twice, like, what was the moment? What was the moment that I decided I was going to change my life? I was going to lose 130 pounds. What does that moment look like? And so I thought that was a really interesting question because it was asked more than once. And so maybe I haven't shared that. And I will tell you, there was no grand moment. Womp womp. There was nothing. There was no, when I made the change, there was no rock bottom. I was just sick of my own bullshit. I mean, honestly, like, I felt like I had hit rock bottom before. Like, getting your car repossessed is pretty freaking rock bottom. I was telling the story the other day. We were just talking about how just the internet itself changes things and our ability to look stuff up. And I remember when my car went missing one morning when we owned the dry cleaners at the store, and the car was taken. And I remember I stayed up all night that night. And I remember exactly, we were living in our other house, and I was sitting on the first 2 steps, and I remember it being 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was sobbing and I was hysterical, and I was trying to figure out, like, I've never had this happen to me before. I've never known anyone that's happened to me before that has had their car repossessed before. Like, it doesn't happen to me. Like, this just is not my world. And I was sobbing hysterically, and I was Googling, like, do I go to jail? Do they take my kids? Like, what happened? Horrible, just absolute torture. And now information is so readily available. It was fairly quickly back then, but not to the extent that it is now. So I felt like that was like a real rock bottom moment, but that didn't necessarily change me. I felt the desire to like go do great things. Like I knew that was not the end of my story, that I wasn't going to go out of this world like that. Like I wanted to make an impact. But as far as like losing weight or doing things like mindset change and things like that, it didn't come to me then at that moment. And I have lost and gained 100 pounds more than twice in my life. I mean, when you're really good at something, you're just really good at it. So almost like the weight loss came secondary to kind of growing my business and getting my business off the ground, which was real estate, and which is why we're here, right? The Happy Agent podcast. I think what drove me in that moment was that felt like rock bottom, really. Honestly, the car getting repoed, we had to move in with my mother-in-law, we had to sell our house, like all of those things really felt like rock bottom. But what drove me to get out of that was I was severely overweight. I felt like there were times when people overlooked me or um, I was dismissed. And so for me, I had this feeling in my gut like, I'm going to show those mofos. Like, I am going to be in the room with the gorgeous girls of real estate. I'm going to show up looking like this and I'm going to be successful. And it was like the grit that came out of that, of proving people wrong, that even though I was overweight and I felt bad about myself or whatever it was, I wasn't going to let that show. I was going to show up and I was going to be successful no matter what. And so that really was the grit behind it. And then I feel like after I lost weight and I looked back on it, I feel like that was a story that I made up in my head. I don't really recall anybody not welcoming me, but in my brain, it happened, and I guess that's what fueled me to keep moving forward. So then, ironically enough, when I did lose the weight, I almost felt like I lost my grit. Like, okay, now what? All right, I did what I set out to do. Now what? And that was like a whole nother thing for me to go through. So I would say for me, the journey of after I had lost weight and the journey of taking that moment of, did I just lose the thing that was driving me, to now what the hell is my why? Now why am I doing this? That was probably the biggest change for me. I feel like this change that I've made for myself is more authentically me. It's permanent change. Even though we struggle every day, there's no such thing as perfection. But this version of me feels more like me than any other version that I have lived in my 48 years. So, like I said, I think the aha moment was really, there wasn't one. I was just sick of my own bullshit. I was sick of the negativity. I was sick of just everything. Like, anytime something good would happen or something would happen, I'd always have like some shitty thing to say about it. Because maybe it wasn't happening to me or whatever it was just a constant loop of negativity, a constant loop of, well, everyone struggles, everything's hard. Why is this so hard? This is hard, right? Just that constant loop in my head of things shouldn't be great. I mean, this is life. This is life, right? Everything's hard. Life is hard. Nothing should be easy. You should earn it. Get out there, you work your ass off and you earn it. And that like rhetoric always just played in my head. And it can be fairly toxic after a while. I mean, the same thing if anything good happened. I was raised, if something good happens, don't talk about it, don't enjoy it, because something bad will happen and make that good thing go away. So I found that I was seeking out things to make the good thing go away. So self-sabotaging was huge. And then one day, I've shared this before, I was coming off my biggest year ever in sales. I had lost the weight and I still found myself miserable and unhappy. In that moment, I think, while I wouldn't call it rock bottom, I feel like that was really my, what excuse do I have now? My excuse prior was we had lost everything, lost all of our money, lost our house, our car, the whole thing. And so I had this story that I would share and tell, and it was easy to, well, I can't be successful right now, or I can't do this, I can't do that because I've got little kids, or we just lost everything, give me a break. Or, it was just a story. And then the story after a while to me became pathetic. Like, well, why can't I go do this? Why am I living in this past? Why am I holding on to something that didn't make me who I am? It's just something that happened to me, lesson learned. And the real me, the real value in who I am is going from that point to the next point. And so then when I got to that next point, and again, I didn't do it in a way, it was the grit. I didn't do it in a way that was probably healthy. It was the fat girl's going to be in the room of top producers. And then when that obstacle went away, that was really where I discovered a new change, and something in me has to change now. It's not an external factor. I don't like my negativity. Who am I hanging around? Do any of the people that I spend my time with, do I want to live their life? And then I started noticing that the people that I was around weren't really cheering me on, or they would kind of do it from a distance, like, oh, that's great, but what do you mean you're doing this? You should be doing that. So taking a good hard look at who I was around. And, then you move forward and think, okay, well, I need to make these changes. And it's not easy. It's not easy. I lost friendships over it. That still hurts, but honestly, it's to the better. You'll change when things stop serving you. So for me, what was serving me was this pathetic story that I had of, well, these bad things happened to me. We lost the car, we lost the house, we did, these bad things happened to me, and that was my story. And I got attention from that story. Oh my God, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Oh, what, something always serves us, whether it's good or it's bad. We're always getting something out of it. And when you no longer get something out of that, then it's time to change. You will change. So you really need to take a good hard look at what are you getting out of, what is serving you out of what you're doing or is being done to you. Even if it's bad, there's something that you're getting out of it, whether it's comfort, attention, self-sabotage, because sometimes that feels good. Like, oh, well, I knew I didn't deserve it anyways. It's that self-fulfilling prophecy. So what are you getting out of it? And when that no longer serves you, you'll make a change. My biggest change after I had lost the weight, and I was still just thinking, I'm miserable. This is horrible. It's never enough. What should I do? And then I came across my business therapist, Ryan Gillen. You guys see her from time to time on here, and she's over on the Happy Agent Collective page. We talked, and I hired her, and I said, I'm not really even sure what you do, but I feel like I need this. I need somebody to help me get to this next level of, I don't even know what that next level is. I just know that I want to be happy. And I didn't even really know what happiness looked like. I just don't want to feel like this anymore. And that feeling was dread, doom, self-doubt, just that something would go bad at any time, that I had no control over my life or my thoughts or things that happened to me. And I didn't want to feel like that anymore. And I could see it rubbing off on my kids. And so Ryan happened across my For You page on TikTok, and that was all I needed to change. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, we had the call, and I was like, how much does it cost to work with you? And then she told me, and I was like, I feel like I could get a fairly decent, like, little Louis Vuitton bag for that. Just saying, like, at the end of this, what am I walking away with? And she was like, well, that's up to you, Courtney, isn't it? And I was like, God. She goes, well, sometimes money motivates people to, and I was like, you would think, but in this instance, I don't know that it will, but we'll see. And really all that just took was is that I wanted to change. It didn't matter what she was going to say to me or what we were going to work through or whatever it is. My story that I had been telling myself for so long didn't serve me anymore. And so this next version was going to take me to where I wanted to go. And we dove into relationships and language, and not only how people speak to me, but how I speak to myself. We wrote down a lot of things. Like, that was a lot of what I worked through, was writing down how I want things to go. Coming to a place in my life where I felt like I deserve good things to happen to me. Like, that was big for a long time. that I just didn't deserve it. And I know a lot of people feel like that too. And you get to deserve the life that you have and want and create for yourself. We all do. And we all have that power in us. We just have to know that we're capable of it, we're deserving of it, and filling our lives with people who believe that for us as well. And that was big. One of the things that I started out doing is I had to sit in a lot of uncomfortable situations. So being around people that ultimately you find are maybe not the best people for you, they're not cheering you on. And once you start to see that, you can't unsee that. So how do you sit with those conversations? Like Ryan encouraged me to talk to those people and be like, look, this isn't working for me anymore. We should talk. And when you're that close to me, I become an avoider. So I'm like, do I have to? I don't think I have to. And she's like, until you stop giving that energy, that negativity energy, it's going to keep popping up in your life. And then she was telling me a story, and I thought it was really crazy. She said, have you ever like had somebody in your life and like you're done with them? Like something happened and you're done with them. And I'm like, yeah, like I used to work with a lender, and he had ticked me off for the last time, and I was like done. Like that was, and once I'm done, there really is no coming back for me. Like I'm done. And she said, do you see him? Does he like pop up anymore? And I said, no, I don't. And she goes, isn't it weird when you're energetically done with someone, like you're for real done with them, like they just almost don't even exist in your life anymore and you don't see them anymore. And that really got me thinking, like, even though you say you're done with somebody, but you think about them or, whatever it is, those people energetically stay in your life. But when you're done with someone and your energy is done with them, they do kind of just disappear. And I mean, it's really pretty crazy. So I had to sit with a lot of uncomfortable situations or conversations that if I was sitting with a bunch of people and they were being really negative or talking about something that I didn't feel the same way, instead of just going, oh, right. I mean, she's a bitch. Am I right? Like, instead of doing that to ease the situation or just get along, I would stay quiet or I would speak up. And it was very clear that I was not entertaining it or being a part of it. And that caused a lot of problems that later came back to be like, well, what's wrong with you? Why are you being like that? And all those conversations afterwards really revealed to me that they really weren't on my side to begin with. So it was very interesting to see it from the other side, but I had to sit in them and that was uncomfortable. I also went and looked for people that I wanted to be around. I looked for people that just exuded happiness and had goals, and I sought those people out and I've brought them into my life. And the amount of greatness that has come from bringing new people into my life that have similar aligned goals and values has been incredible. And so I really say take a look at the people that you're around. You may have to sit in some uncomfortable conversations or some uncomfortable moments as you are energetically removing yourself from them, but actively seek at the same time people who you want to be in your life, people who you want to be with. I actively looked and continue to look for people who hype me up, who are completely my enablers. They're like, if I come up with some crazy ass bullshit idea of like, I should start a freaking podcast and just not even be prepared for it. Just have like a sign on my wall with holes in it because who has time to get around to that? And they're like, hell yeah, girl, go do it. People are going to listen. I'm like, you're freaking nuts. And they're like, you're nuts and you're going to do it. And we love you. Like those are my people. You have to find those people. I mean, that'll make it or break it. And I always say that in real estate too. Like wherever you are, make sure you're with your people. And if you're not with your people, go find them, because wasting your time trying to make something work around people that you know are not your people is an absolute waste of time. I wish I had some magic advice for you to tell you that it's not uncomfortable, because it is super uncomfortable. When you're going through a major change or you want to go through a change, you cannot do it because somebody else wants you to. It has to come from you. If somebody else is the driving factor for whatever change it is you want to make, for growing your business, losing weight, dumping him, finding somebody new, like whatever it is, if it's not coming from you, you're not going to be successful at it. So really just sit and take in What's serving you in the situation that you're in? Is it serving you because you're a victim to it? And if you're a victim, then you can't really be responsible because you're a victim to whatever's happening to you. Um, is it just make life easier, right? Like, the saying, the devil you know versus the devil you don't know. Is that it? Like, at some point, really just take stock of whatever your situation is and how it's serving you. Is it a story that you're being able to say? Is it simplicity of your life, even though the mental torture is horrible? Like, what is it? Like I said, for me, my rock bottom didn't even really get me moving forward. It wasn't until I just one day was like, I am so sick of my shit. I am sick of one more negative conversation. I am sick of always just feeling like I'm stuck in the mud. And I want to feel light and happy and free. And, I write a lot in my journal that I want to feel easy. I want things to feel easy and for them to flow. I want situations or whatever I'm in to feel easy and to flow. And I create that for myself. That's really important. But you'll know when to get started because you will be sick of your own bullshit. I mean, really, that's it. So when you get to the point where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, the next step you have to make is probably going to be uncomfortable. It is. I wish I could tell you that it wasn't, but it's likely going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have to get very real with yourself as to why you're allowing what you're allowing. Once you identify that, then what do you do to change? Is it the people that you're around? Is it the rhetoric that you hear? Is it the things that you're saying to yourself, to your family? What are you saying? What are the words that you're speaking? Are they serving you? And then also getting honest about your action. Like, you can manifest, hope, wish, and dream all day long, but if you don't take action, that means nothing. And it's just fake rhetoric again about, no, I'm going to tomorrow. I'm going to go to the gym. No, like, I stopped all that. I don't even do like New Year's Eve. I don't know. What do they call them? Oh my God, what are they called? Not traditions. What's it called? Where you make like I'm going to do this, resolutions. I don't even do New Year's resolutions because there's no way I'm sticking to any of that shit. Like, if I was going to truly make a change, it didn't have to be January 1st for it to happen. And so I don't need one more thing to like disappoint myself, sign up for, and then disappoint myself. So I've gotten really honest about what I'm willing to do, what I'm not willing to do. We talk about this all the time with social media. People are like, well, how do you get clients? How did you build a following? I just showed up. Like, everyone, the secret sauce, it's you. That's it. You show up. You show up for yourself in a negative way or you show up for yourself in a positive way. Choose. Because either way, you're going to show up to something. So what is it? Are you showing up for yourself and on behalf of yourself, or are you showing up for other people and indulging their negativity, their meanness? How are you showing up? And that's it. Like, you've got to get uncomfortable and you have to figure out, again, where you're at. How is that serving you? And when you're truly sick of it, when it doesn't serve you anymore, then you'll make a change. Like I said, start with the people in your life. Are they the people that are cheering you on, truly cheering you on, or are they sabotaging you? Take account of what you're doing every day. Are you living and acting the life of a person that you want to be or the person that you currently are? So for me, I have to act and behave every day like an agent who's selling $35 million a year. I have to act and behave like a businesswoman who is running a community, who's doing a podcast, who's sharing, who is showing up vulnerable, who is willing to put herself out there to help other people unstuck themselves and move forward. I have to show up as that person every day, and I don't always want to, but I do see a bigger picture that I want and I want to be a part of, which is a community. And so I'm showing up for me so I can show up for you too. So are you at your rock bottom? Like, where are you? And if you're not, you don't have to get there. You simply have to decide you've had enough of your own bullshit and make the next move. If this resonated with you at all, or you think somebody else needs to hear it, I hope you share it with them. If you want to me on my Sunday emails, please you can either go to my Instagram profile or my TikTok, which is CourtneyBenson.com, spelled out DOTCOM, and click the link that's there in the bio, and that will take you to 3 sections. If you go to the one that says Happy Agent Resources and Podcast and click on that, you can register, give me your information, and I will send you the email every week along with anything else that we're doing with the Happy Agent podcast and community. We're working on some stuff to bring everybody. Anything else you guys want or need, please tell me. This is our community that we're building together, and I want it to be a place of positivity where we talk about things that other people don't talk about being said to make a difference. So thank you again for being here for the Happy Agent podcast. If you're not part of our community, please go to Facebook and look for the Happy Agent Collective and log in and sign up there, and you can be part of our community there. Ask questions, answer questions, whatever you want to share, please share it there. And we'll see you next week. I'm going to have Shauna Martinez on. She's a friend of mine. She does 100 deals a year, but she's so funny. She came out with a list of sellers that she will not work with, and I thought that was kind of funny. And so we're going to talk about that next week. We're going to talk about, do you want to sell 100 houses a year, and what does that actually look like for your life? All right, well, I'll talk to you guys next time. Have a good week.